Big Island real estate data for June is out. We're going to take a look coming up next. Hey, what's going on, friends? Dylan Amnaka here with the Buy Big Island June 2020 market update. Definitely some interesting stuff going on here with the market in terms of what it looks like to be a recovery from the months previous. So we're still behind in terms of comparing it to last year's data, which is what we do. So we're sticking with that, but I'll add in a few notes as we go through here. So just getting into the data for Kona versus a year ago. So current units is still down 19%. But if you noticed from a month ago, there was only like 26 homes sold in Kona a month ago. So big increase in the number of homes sold in Kona from May. And so although we're down versus a year ago, definitely better off than we were a month ago. So it looks like we may have bottomed out in May and things are coming back in terms of current units. Dollar volume is up 39%. As always, that fluctuates pretty wildly based on what kind of high-end homes sell. Median price down 2%, so pretty much the same as it was a year ago. Days on market, interestingly enough, fell. This is a low days on market number. So 60 days on market in the Kona market is pretty low. So as we've seen in previous months, because of the shrinking of inventory and the local buyer demand still being there, it's definitely holding up prices, but then looks like the things that did come on the market sold quicker than they did a year ago. So 26% quicker than a year ago. And then final list is sold price at 89%, down 4% from a year ago, but still that's about where you normally see it is around 90%, low 90s. So condo market, same thing, 25 condos sold this past month. Versus a year ago, it's down 43%, so seems pretty significant. But there was a big jump in that there's only 16 condos sold right last month. So big change in the condo market also in terms of recovery. It looks like the condo market had also bottomed out in May, and in June it recovered. Looking at the dollar volume, that was down 37%. So obviously with the number of units, it's going to fall. Median price down 2%, just like the housing market. So pretty much the same as it was a year ago. And then average days on market also fell 8%. Not a huge significant change, but still 72 days on market is kind of fast for the Kona market. And then final list of sold price, interestingly enough, up to 97%. So the condos that did sell were almost getting full price in the month of June. So you don't see that too often. That's usually 95 or less. And so 97% final list of sold price is pretty high. And then the land market, not like the homes and condo market, just fell off a cliff. Only 3 pieces of land sold in all of Kona in the month of June. So that's down obviously 75% from a year ago. Not a lot of land sales. It's usually around 10 or so, but having only 3 is pretty significant. And obviously the volume followed that down. Median price was up though. So the 3 pieces that sold compared to a year ago had a higher median price. Average days on market, there was 1 piece of land that was on the market like forever that sold. So that was 825 days on market. Not a good, reliable data point. And then final list of sold price at 92%. So pretty interesting, like in terms of the recovery and seeing the market bounce back. And then looking at the Big Island real estate market, same thing. The current units, although down, was up from a month ago. So the year against year numbers, it still looks like we're behind, but we're definitely recovering in the current units versus a month ago. Dollar volume was actually up 11% from a year ago. So the stuff that did sell was on the higher end versus a year ago because that dollar volume shifted up. Median price across the island up to 380, so up 3%. So up from a year ago, even though there's still less home selling. Average days on market up 9%, so not a big fluctuation there. 84 about where it normally is. And then final list of sold price 91%, not a big change there either. Same thing with the condo market, although down 48% from a year ago, it was better than it was last month. And dollar volume is still down 20%. Median price down 5%, so still pretty high though, 365 for median price across the island. So not a huge change there. Average days on market at 70, which is down 15%. So again, that kind of followed that Kona market where things that did sell sold a little bit faster. And then final list of sold price, just like the Kona market, 97% final list of sold price in the condo market. Very interesting on the land side. So although the Kona land market fell off a cliff, the Big Island land market in general, 136 units sold, which is up 1%. So actually a little bit more units sold this year in June versus last year in June. So pretty interesting there. Dollar volume was actually down 58%. So the stuff that did sell was on that lower end. So it looks like people are buying like those, South Hilo, South Kona lots that are at a lower price point, but they're definitely selling. And then average days on market, 208 days on market. So again, that is a data point that was skewed by a couple of pieces of land that took like 3 years to sell. So that was up 41%. And then final list of sold price, 80%. So actually that's pretty low. It fell 9%. That number is usually a little bit higher in the high 80s and low 90s. So at 80% final list of sold price is pretty low. But interesting, the data this month is definitely still worse than it was a year ago in terms of the number of units that are selling across the board. But we're seeing that somewhat of a recovery happening where it looks like May have been the bottom of the market, and confidence has returned. And I'm definitely seeing that people are still making offers. I'm making more sight unseen offers than I ever have before because people are ready to buy and they want to come here as soon as possible and get out of the city that they're in. So if you're waiting for some big, huge drop off in the real estate market, I think it's not going to happen, at least not right now. We haven't seen prices fall almost at all across the board in the last couple of months. And now that the volume is returning, we'll see if that inventory continues to return, because it's starting to return slowly and sellers are starting to put stuff back on the market. And I definitely know there's a lot of pent up demand in the next couple of months. I know there's a lot of people that are planning to come that couldn't come in the last few months that are going to come in August when things open up and you can get a COVID test and fly within 72 hours. So we'll see if this continues next month, but definitely June was a brighter spot than it was in April and May. And so if you have any questions about this data or any other data set across the island, just let me know. I can put that together for you or send you the data set for the whole island if you like to geek out and look at it. I've had some requests to do that. So if you have any questions, you can always put them in the comments below or email me at dylan@buybigisland.com. Please subscribe to the channel if you're watching this on YouTube, like the video if you're on social media. Always appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys with the market update next month. Aloha.